Hello, everyone, and welcome to Orange Press Pass at the half. Syracuse down in South Beach taking on Miami. It's currently a 25-25 game, pretty much a defensive stalemate for the most part, but both teams starting to come alive at the end of the first half.
Yeah, some really poor shooting from both teams. Miami went 5 for 7 down the stretch. We'll see if that can continue heading into the second.
And, you know, Syracuse kind of started off a little hot, then things started to go down the hill, and that's kind of been the theme of the season. Starting off hot, whether it be a game or a half, and then everything kind of going.
It really reminds me of the Wake Forest game from last weekend.
Yeah.
We could see Miami come out just on fire in the second.
Yeah, not great numbers on both sides, and we'll take a closer look at those now, looking at those first half stats. Neither team even 40% from the field, both 20% from the three-point line. Not exactly the numbers that you want if you're Syracuse or Miami.
Yeah, but the guy that I'm impressed with in the first half was Frank Howard. He came out and had 8 points, a key steal at the end of the game. He's really done a good, at the end of the half. He's done a really nice job of defending the high post, setting up his opponents, and getting to the basket. That's where Syracuse has had success on offense this season.
You're right, but even early on in the game, you saw them a couple times getting to the basket and just missing shots, which has been a theme of the season. But if Syracuse wants any chance of winning this game, potentially making the tournament comes out in this game, they got to step it up in the second half.
Yeah, certainly. And Chris, you mentioned Frank Howard and how he's been able to play in the first half. Somebody that I would argue even outplayed him, though, O'Shea Brissett, 9 points, 7 rebounds. What has his impact been? Well,
he's kept Syracuse afloat when they've had some real struggles shooting the ball in the first half. What he's done well, again, like Frank Howard, gotten to the paint, attacked the basket. When Battle, Frank Howard, and O'Shea Brissett are clicking on all cylinders, Syracuse's offense is clicking on all cylinders. It's going to be important that he keeps going in the second half.
I feel like I'm the pessimist here all the time, though. Last time he scored was with 8 minutes left in the half. So the problem is that he's getting stuff early. Now, in the last game against NC State, he came out of the locker room, and immediately scored, I think, 7 points coming in the first 4 minutes of the half.
Really strong first part, yeah.
So if Syracuse wants any chance of beating Miami, they need that to happen because clearly Tyus Battle, Frank Howard, they're not shooting the ball great right now.
Those 3 guys are super important.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to step up. This is a second half that is absolutely crucial, possibly for Syracuse's entire outlook for the rest of the season. What do you think they have to do in the second half to win this game?
Syracuse is going to have to weather the storms headed into the second half. They came out and saw Miami shoot horrendously in the first half, and then the Hurricanes caught fire at the end of the half. What they need to do is, if Miami comes out, just like that Wake Forest game, and just catches fire, they need to be able to hang in there, not let the game get away from them so that they can respond when it gets into crunch time later into the second.
Well, that's where my key to the second half comes in. They have to play the last 5 minutes of the game. They have just struggled so much at the very end of the game, closing games, even against Wake Forest where they barely snuck by. It was the last 5 minutes of the game that they really let things go. Go back all the way towards the beginning of this of 2018, Notre Dame. They had that game in hand, the last 5 minutes of the game, they let it go. If they can show up for the last 5 minutes of the game, Matt, this might be the chance Syracuse has to finally get that resume-building win on the road. Louisville was a good one. Miami might even be a better one at this point in the season.
Free throws are going to be so crucial. This team hovers around 70% from the free throw stripe. They're going to need to really hang in there. Syracuse is going to need to make some down the stretch.
Yeah, and Matt, you mentioned close games. I mean, you look overall the season, not just Notre Dame, but NC State obviously just happened. Then earlier in the season, Wake Forest on the road. And Chris, I love the puns. Weathering the storm and hurricanes. Great stuff.
I do my best for you, Matt.
But this has been OPP at the half. We'll see if Syracuse can keep things going in the second half. For Matt Wieselthier and Chris Venzon, I'm Matt Liberman. Tune in for OPP later on at 4 o'clock.